Hi, I'm Danny. I'm an alcoholic. Hi, Danny. Hi, everybody. Hi. Figures, man. My sponsor just never texts me and just hit me with a text right now that just reached in once again, grabbed my heart like he knew. Oh, I can hear him. If you can't help him, don't hurt him. Right? Welcome to you, all of you here. Came in the druggy buggies from Miracles in a Mansion on a Cliff by the Sea, where Wolfgang Puck will be making the midnight snack tomorrow. And the Maharishi and the Dalai Lama will be doing Brick'em yoga with you in the morning. Really, really, welcome to you. Look, just think about this for a minute. You see those empty chairs right there? Just imagine where those people are right now. That one right there. And those, look at all those. Somewhere, those people, they're stuffed in a county jail, in a cell designed for 60 people with 120 people in it. Wow. Or locked up inside of their house and just can't get out here. And they'll never know what it's like to be in this room. But we get to be. We get to be. Anyway, good night. It's just, birthdays will do that to you when, it's like get real reflective. And think about, I think about where I was 12 years ago, man. 12 years ago, I was living in my Connections house because I thought it was too dangerous to drive back and forth from my house to the Connections house. So keen alcoholic thinking, be a lot safer to live in his house. Right? And I'm the guy that can't get sober. I'm that guy. I'm the how many days do you have now, Danny? I'm the guy who's wants to wait until you're all sitting down and slither into the back because I'm ashamed because I can't put 2 days together. I'm the guy that everybody gave up on and told my sponsor, you got to let Danny go. I'm him. But he didn't give up. So maybe you're that person. Maybe you don't have your first sobriety date. Maybe you don't feel like you can do it. But I came here tonight to tell you, oh, yes, you can. Oh, you can do this. I mean, we clean up pretty good in this room, but trust me, if you knew the stories of the people sitting next to you right now, you would know you belong here. Trust me. And she looks like probably the PTA mom. I'm sure she drove a car through somebody's house. So, yeah, I'm that guy, man. I'm that guy. And our job, right, we have this circle and this triangle. And the first side of the triangle is unity, right? Unity is the body. We bring it to a meeting. So we go outside and we find that person that's waiting 300 yards from the door by themselves that doesn't have the guts like I didn't. Thank God, it's a little easier to get in here now. But there was a time when this room used to have 6 greeters on that door and another 6 over there. You thought, I'll outsmart them, I'll go around, and there they were. And when you're new, there's nothing, 2 things are scary. The greeters and smiley, happy people. Oh my God, what are you smiling about? Can't you see I want to be dead? Oh, man. And so I go and look for the person, that doesn't know, that is all off by themselves. And I walk up real gently and I say, how you doing? Do you know anybody here? Like Andrew, I just met outside. And I just want to tell you, man, that whatever your deal is, maybe some old crusty AA person has told you when you were sharing in a meeting, hey, that stuff you were sharing about? There's another place for you. No. This is your place. You like smokable alcohol? You like snortable alcohol? You like injectable alcohol? You like pill form alcohol? Right here. Can I get an amen? Can I get a hallelujah? If you don't believe me now, we used to have this chapter called Dr. Addict Alcoholic, and some of the people got real freaked out about that addict, where even though Bill waited till page 7 to say sedative, and they changed the name. It's now what? Acceptance is the answer? Is that the name of it now? Yeah. Right? And now 449 is now on 417. But if you back up to 410, he's shooting intravenous Demerol and Percocet and blah, blah, blah. So please enlighten the crusty person that tells you don't let anyone tell you you don't belong. Because we have this other thing here. It's this little card we put on tables sometimes. It says, I am responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help. And the way I define anyone is everyone. Who am I to tell you that you don't belong here? Really? Bullshit. God. Anyway. If I seem passionate about this, it's because I am. You know, it's just like I am. So anyway, all right, here we go. My father's a colonel in the Air Force. Was. I'm a military brat. Middle child. I don't know if there's any other middle child here, right? It's not fun. Mascot. Favors the little baby, the special one. Gets the keys to the car, all the favors over here. You're in the middle. Hand-me-downs, hand-me-ups. I'm the scapegoat. I'm the target. Everything was my fault. I had so much potential. And if only I would apply myself. Remember that? And right away, man, people started asking me that question. They'd ask me the rest of my life. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why do you do that? Anybody ever ask you that? What's wrong with you? I'd go to psychiatrists with degrees on the wall that would ask me, what's wrong with you? I'm like, aren't you supposed to be telling me that? And my first tool for living, man, my first tool that I ever had, I wanted out. Out of the car, out of the window, out of the family, out of the relationship. Wrong earth suit. This is wrong. Somebody's made a mistake. I'm on the wrong planet. All of you seem to know how to do what you're doing. You all know how to run up to each other and go, will you play with me? And all this. And I don't know how to do that. Every time I'm around people, they're always mad. They're pissed off. And so I wanted out, man, right away, you know. And we had this thing in my house. It was called the leather belt. And if you put your hand back there to block the leather belt, the belt became the belt buckle. Only here do people laugh at that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. If I was standing up here like talking to like some, you know, in a ballroom to a bunch of people from a work thing, and you say, and then my father would beat me relentlessly and shamelessly with an extension cord, they'd be like, oh my, not here, man. Hardy har har. And our book talks about that, right? On page 1, I said, a lady said, she came up to me, she said, I really like that you skipped across the stage. I said, because on page 132, it says, we absolutely insist on enjoying life, right? 'Cause isn't it good to be out of the bathroom tonight? I'm looking at a bunch of people that know about the bath. Don't let him go in the bathroom. He never comes out. What is she doing in there? Well, she's bleeding from 19 parts of her body trying to get that little thing in that injectable alcohol into her. Because she wants out of here right now, and right here and right now she wants out, right? So let's get that straight, right? It don't matter. Gilby's gin, Percocet, short dog of wine, cocaine. It ain't about up or down. It's how can I get out of right here? Because right here, right now, I'm terrified. And I'm comparing how I feel. Look at this guy. Nice, clean-cut guy, right? Probably got a nice family. Might even have a driver's license with his name on it, right? Right? You probably have a pile of friends, don't you, Robbie, right? And I'd look at people, and I'd always pick the guy that looked like Joe, you know, 6'4", all of his teeth, you know, varsity guy. And I'm thinking, you know, and he's got the captain of the cheerleader squad with him, and I'm thinking, how am I ever going to have that? I am never going to have that. And while I was getting those beatings, I was being told that. You're never going to be nothing. Quit your crying, or I'll give you something to cry about. Remember that one? That was great. So yeah, I knew, man, it wasn't going to happen for me, man. I knew. Best way I know how to explain it is I used to walk around. You know, you have kids. You know when you have kids, right? You know when you buy your kid like a balloon and you fill it up with helium, those expensive ones, like $5-6, or whatever, and you tie it around their wrist so they won't let go of it, so you don't have to buy another one. I felt like I had this balloon that I couldn't let go of, and it said loser on it, man. Just you knew. Like you said, staring at your shoes. I know all about staring at my feet because I can't look you in the eye. Because if I look you in the eye, you know what a piece of shit that I am. And that's how I felt. I know you know because I heard you. And I know this is a room full of people that know what I'm talking about. So don't worry, man. Hang in there. This story has a happy ending. Okay? So there I am walking around. All I want is out. And my next tool for living was I learned if you hit somebody hard enough and enough times, they might leave you alone or they're definitely going to agree with you. So that's what I had going for me. And we were moving around all over the place, and I was always running away from home, getting ass beatings, and, I'm the kid that was acting. They didn't have the sayings that they have now. Now they call it, acting out, seeking negative attention in a dysfunctional family. They're just like, that kid's an asshole. Right? He's combative. He's incorrigible, We don't know how to deal with this one, I learned I could make people laugh at an early age. It's this crazy thing that I have. It's like, I hate you, but I need you to love me. Isn't it weird? It's weird. The people pleaser. Stay away, but love me. And so we're moving all around, and when I took my first drink, we were living in Washington, D.C. We were stationed at the Pentagon. Nixon was resigning. That's how old I am. 12 years old, I was growing my hair out at my father because I hated him, right? And these kids took me to a baseball diamond, and somebody handed me a bottle of Boone's Farm strawberry wine. See, in Malibu, it doesn't get that big of a applause. Like, if we were in Whittier right now, the place would be going crazy, man. Bakersfield, they'd be breaking the doors and throwing. Malibu, they're like, oh, how awful. Who asked him to speak here? Did you at least have a terrace? The cool thing is, I was thinking about this driving into Malibu tonight. If you were coming up, heading north on PCH, and you came around that corner, and you saw that sun doing that beautiful, man, that was nice. And then I'm always thinking about the new guy and the new girl when I'm driving up here. And I'm thinking, man, I'm really thinking about you. I hope you connect. I hope you walk away thinking I can do this. Me too, man. Maybe I can do this. I want to give you the maybe that you need to come back. That's what I want you to have, right? And I was thinking, how cool is this that because of AA, we can walk into places, into zip codes, usually where we wouldn't be able to gather. Because, we are a group of people that normally wouldn't mix. And trust me, outside of an AA meeting, there's a lot of us that wouldn't be invited to many gatherings up this way. But yet we can, and what I want you to do, if you're new, right, and and you're all inked up and blah, blah, go to the real high-end meetings and just make them nervous. And just tell them, hi, how you doing? I belong here. Can I have a commitment? So anyway, I got off track. Commitments are good, aren't they? Yeah. All right, so anyway, here we go. Look at my boys right here. I'm so proud of you guys, man. Awesome. Okay, so 12 years old, somebody gave me a bottle of Boone's Farm strawberry wine, and I drank the whole thing. I drank the whole bottle, and I was just a little guy, and it was one of them big, big bottles, man. And as soon as I drank it, that thing happened that separates me from the normal person. I felt different. I felt better. I felt comfortable. I felt like I exhaled for the first time. I felt funny and charming and intelligent and handsome and taller. I fit in my earth suit. And then I started throwing up. I started throwing up like, man, you wouldn't believe it. And I knew while I was throwing up, I thought, man, if I'm not dead tonight, I'm drinking again tomorrow. Because here it is. Here's the answer. And then another thing that happened was they were passing around this thing, looked like a cigarette. Now I was smoking Camel cigarettes, right? Real cigarettes. Not the things that smell like pancake syrup. They smell out there. What happened to the Marlboro man? Did he get a man bun? Is he vegan now? Used to be so manly. I'm just kidding. Take it easy. I would smoke Camel cigarettes. These guys passing. I'm covered in strawberry puke, and I'm standing there, man, and fitting in my skin for the first time. And it's these guys passing this cigarette around. I'm thinking it's a cigarette, but they're going. And you want to say, "Excuse me, what is that?" But you can't say that, because then if I let you know that I don't know, then I'll have to murder you, because I would rather die or have you die than you humiliate me in front of other people. So I just got to roll with it. All right, here it comes. Got it. I see how they're holding it. You got to hold it like that, not like this. Okay. I'm gonna take in air with it. Air. Okay, I see it coming around. Here it comes. Covered in puke. Now it wasn't the kind of weed. You know the kind of weed they have now, like NASA is growing at some kind of, Boeing is growing the weed now, right? It's like one hit, it keeps people high for like 11 years or something, It's like the weed. Remember the weed we had, Christopher? Remember that? You had to get like a double record album, Physical Graffiti, bam, good one, and clean the seeds out. It all had seeds. Right? And the person that rolled my first joint didn't get that memo. So this doobie's going around and it's got a seed in there, unbeknownst to me. And I'm going to take the biggest, baddest hit off of this smokable alcohol I've ever had. Pop! Seed pop, sticks to my forehead. We're all looking at it's stuck like a popcorn kernel. It's smoldering. My head, you can smell my hair on fire. My face is burning, and we're all looking at it. And I'm like, this is probably part of it. Just look at him. It's good. Best day of my life. It was absolutely the best day of my life, because the first time, like my sponsor said, I was comfortable standing where I was standing with the people I was standing with for the very first time in my short little 12-year life that felt like a long time. So I graduated right away. I found my favorite drink right away after that. It was Southern Comfort, improperly named. Nobody was ever comfortable when I drank Southern Comfort. We were all going to jail tonight. The entire apartment building is going. If I'm going, oh, you're going. We're going. Wow, it's nice to be sober, ain't it? Iris and I were living together, man. I got me a DUI where they said, you're doing 6 months day for day in Wayside. And she came and visited me there every weekend, man. And if you've never visited anybody at Wayside, you gotta ride this bus ride with this filth. Children of God. But it's not the most desirable experience. And Iris would come and visit me every weekend out there and let me know, man, that, you know what? It's like the people in this room, we're these people, we're like unlovable. But we always had this one person in our life that cared about us. You know that one person when you promised you'd never do it again. I'm not going to do it again. You don't know what happened. How did this happen? I meant it when I said to you, I'm never going to do this again. When I spent my 4-year-old daughter's Christmas money and I took that paycheck to the bar, I meant it when I came back and I said, I'm never going to let this happen again. I meant it. And when it happened again and I was sitting across that kitchen table from you, remember those eyes? Remember those eyes of that person looking at you, asking you, why? I don't know. I can't tell you why. I don't know. And when I read the doctor's opinion and told me I had a physical allergy, that it explained a lot. Because I thought I was a bad person for doing all those things. I'm sick. I have alcoholism. So when I was about 10 years old, I sat behind a set of drums and could play them for some reason. Nobody ever taught me. I had this gift of time. So the only thing I had going for me when I was about 17, 18, 19 years old was I could play the drums. And that's all I had. My father became the commander of Clark Air Force Base in the Philippines, so my entire family moved to the Philippines while I was in jail. Hardy har har. So I'm on the streets. I got a drum set that doesn't match, and I find out. Now, I don't know if there's any other liars in the room tonight. Are there any other liars here? And your arm's tired. And she's knitting, so. Right. I used to lie so much, Henry, that I have fond memories of shit that didn't even happen to me. You know what I'm talking about? And the book talks about it. It talks about, in the doctor's opinion, where I can no longer distinguish what is real and what is false. I have told you, I can't walk into a bar and go, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? I'm Danny. You know, Danny? You know the piece of shit that's going to roll over your life, steal everything from you, probably screw your wife and your girlfriend, rip you off, steal your checks, make you wish you hadn't met me? You know, Danny. So I got to be something else. I got to be something else. Right? I used to buy picture frames and I'd leave those phony people in there and name them. I didn't have a family. And after 20 years, I'm like, is that Aunt Margaret? Better keep it, might be, you know? So the true part of this story is I found out Rod Stewart in 79 was looking for a drummer. So I put all my drums that don't match in the Greyhound. I'm coming out to Hollywood, be a big rock star, right? And when I got to the bus station in downtown, the pawn shop was open all night. So all my hopes and dreams, man. But I told so many people that I played drums for Rod Stewart that still, when Hot Legs comes on the radio, I admire my own drumming. And I really have to go, did I play? No. But I told so many people, and on and on and on. My life was a lie. I didn't know who or what I was. All I knew was I was never going to make it. Never going to make it, man. Never going to have a friend. Never going to have a job. So I'm 22 years old. I'm living in San Francisco. I'm wearing everything I owned. I got holes in my teeth, mats in my hair. I'm not connected to a single person. I have no moral compass. I have no anchor whatsoever. And most of the time, all I could do to get something to drink was, because I was drinking that Night Train, 79 cents, MD 2020, no terrace, no view. Did you know that there are some people, like there's some normies here tonight, right? There are some people that think a cigarette butt floating in a drink is a non-drinkable beverage. Do you believe that? Rookies. I never had it. First of all, you know when you go out with a normie and during lunch, like for an hour, they're like still got half a drink and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with this person? And you can't hear a thing they're saying. You're just thinking, are you going to fucking drink? So one of the things I would do to get a drink, now we used to be able to smoke in bars. And I always knew that normies would not drink a drink. There was always a bunch of drinks left in, unfinished drinks. Robbie, did you ever have an unfinished drink? I never had an unfinished drink. Even in a riot, I knew, there's my drink, I'll be back. I know where my drink is. So I'd go into the bar, wearing everything I own, and these 2 Tupperwares under my shirt. And over at the bar, there's this magical place where these brass, you know, the brass rail is where the waitress gets service. And at 10 to 2, she'd bring her last call, and people would leave perfectly good drinks. Now, they had things floating in them like loogies and cigarette. Oh, don't make that face. How many people here have sniffed something off of a public bathroom before? Yeah. Really? Yeah, but you didn't have it. Isn't it funny, the stuff that we've done? Right? How many people here have driven up to a street corner, had somebody spit a balloon of dope in their hand, ran right home and stuck it in your arm? How many people? Oh, you didn't run it through any CSI little, see if it turns blue? No, nothing like that, right? No. But then we come in here and we have trust issues. I don't know if I can trust God. I don't trust. The things that we would do. And then we get in here and we got like 10 days sober. Like, is that cage-free vegan water? Fuck you, man. I sponsor a guy named Dustin who injected a piece of bagel chip. Now, for some of you older crowd who don't know what Carpet Patrol is, I was talking to somebody at the break about Carpet Patrol. How many people know what Carpet Patrol is? So you don't know, do you? Do you know? Do you know or not? That's okay. But do you know? There's nothing wrong with learning. You come here to learn. So how many people were on Carpet Patrol? How many people would like to know what carpet patrol is? You would like to know. Okay, here you go. Let's just generalize. You've been up for about 8 days. You're probably naked. Most of you's covered in Vaseline. You got a pipe in one hand and a lighter in the other. And you're doing a fearless and searching inventory of the carpet. And anything you find goes in the pipe and you smoke it. Am I getting this right? It's what we will do to get out of right here and right now. And no matter what level you're on or what thing you're on, you did those things. You said once upon a time when you started drinking, I will never do that. I will never drive a car with my kid in the car when I've been drinking. And wait a minute, gonna have to move that line a little bit. I've only been drinking champagne. 2 bottles. And I don't like my kids that much. So here's how I got to AA, man. I was hiding in so I used to go in that bar and pour them in a Tupperware, and I'd take all those drinks out behind the bar and strain them through my t-shirt. And some people call that pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. I call it a Long Island tea. Genius. I know, some of you are thinking, why didn't I think of that? So I found AA because of a bumper sticker in a phone booth, and walked into my first AA meeting, man, and I thought, that somebody was going to tell me to get out. Robbie, did you ever walk into a bar that you thought was the very first time, and the bartender said, hold on a second, you, out! And you're like, apparently I've been here before. Apparently all that broken stuff right there was me last Thursday, but, I have this thing I do where I'm here and I'm not here and I'm here and I'm not here, So I thought that's what was going to happen when I walked in. I thought, or if maybe about 7 guys were going to come over and go, dude. And when I walked in, I looked like a chick on speed, man. I was like a size none. Right? But I thought I looked tough. I was drinking wine and eating wine. That's all I ate and drank was wine. So I was iodine colored, and I weighed about 130 pounds. But I thought I looked like a skull and crossbones, of a poison rat bottle or something. And this guy ran up to me. I saw that it's always this big guy. I saw this guy run up to me. I saw him saw me, or whatever. And he comes running, and I'm thinking, I've been here before, right? And he runs up and he says, I love you, and he gives me a hug, man. It was the last thing I thought, man. AA just started with love. It's always been about love. It's all it's been about. I don't think AA has never taught me to be spiritual. If you have a baby, Angelique, remember when you held your first baby? Remember the first time you held your baby? And you're like, you didn't go, look, Christopher, there's a liar. You didn't say, right? Look, she's gonna love Oxycontin. Look at that, turn to the side. Like, no, beautiful, beautiful ray of light. My sponsor is your godfather of your children, right? Yep. See? And it's a perfect little ray of light. And the first time I held my daughter, I thought, I must have been like that once. Opened up the second step, possibility for the second step. Restore me to sanity, right? Maybe I was once spiritual. But then I adopted a bunch of self and ego and fear, right? But then AA gives me these 12 precise instructions on how to get rid of the fear, lose self. And if I get rid of the fear and lose self, what's left? Love man. That's it. I'm either coming from fear or love. That's it. Take away the fear. I love you. The secret around here, the constant thought of it. If you're new, you're in treatment, or you'll hear a bunch of catch things. You'll hear this one a lot. Contrary action. I don't do what I would like to do, and I do what I don't want to do. Page 62 says selfish self-centeredness. That we think is the root of our problem. What is the contrary action to self? First side of the triangle. Unity is the body. I bring it to a meeting, right? I can do a lot of things, but when it comes to not drinking this drink, I can't do it. But for some reason, me and Piper get together, and I'm not drinking. Right? So recovery is of the mind. It's not about stopping. We've all stopped. How do I stay stopped? How do I navigate? around the planet? How do I leave the house, come in contact with all these people, not owe anybody an amends, not make my life fold over on itself, not run over people's lives? How do I do that? Second side of the triangle. Recoveries of the mind, I work the 12 steps so I can change my behavior. I need to change. So having done that, I get to look at life differently. Some people call it a spiritual awakening. When I used to hear that, I used to think, oh, really? Like lights are going to shoot out my eyeballs? No. A spiritual awakening means is that I always looked at things in the same way. You say something to me, it's personal. You must die. It's amazing how different something can look. He didn't mean that. Maybe he's having a bad day. The ability or the willingness to look at life differently, a change in perception. And then by doing that, by being willing to change my behavior, I'm starting to be willing to also, now I'm thinking different. I've been acting different. Now I'm starting to think different, right? So I started 8 years of I sponsor myself. How much time do I have left? I got to pace myself. 2 hours? Okay. I started 8 years of I sponsor myself. You've probably seen these people in meetings. I get to the meeting late. I ask girls, would you like to go to coffee? And then I leave early so I don't have to talk to you. I don't have a big book. I don't have a sponsor. I don't know how to process a feeling. Somebody says something I don't like, I just punch them in the face. And on my 8th anniversary of untreated alcoholism, I went back out. I stood in a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous and I said, you know what? You don't work. So those people, I'm still thinking about these people right here, those empty seats. Where are those people? They're having a tough night, man. I hope you're thinking about them. I hope maybe when you go to a meeting, the next time you go to a meeting, you think about that empty chair. So anyway, sorry. What was I talking about?
Asking girls out.
Huh?
Going to a meeting, asking girls out.
8 years.
8 years. Oh yeah, went to a meeting and I stood there and I told you, you know what, AA, you don't work. I didn't know what AA was. I didn't have a big book. I just went to meetings. How can I be in a 12-step program if I'm not working the 12 steps, right? It's like I belong to that gym, but I don't lift the weights. Okay, wow. Okay, so I'm back out. I'm out, and I'm out there for 15 years. And I was living with this girl named Vicky Smart, and I owned 3 things: a Honda Civic with no windshield, a pit bull named Brooklyn, and my hand tools. I'm an electrician. And every night I would drink 10 king-size Coronas, take about 20 Klonopin, and smoke a 1/4 ounce of Kush. And every night Vicky would pull up and say, I'm going to a meeting tonight, Danny. Would you like to go? And I'd say, yeah. Tell him I said hi. If you're listening on tape, I just gave the middle finger. Because, I didn't know how to do column work. If I knew how to do column work, I'd have said, Vicky, I'm sorry, I can't go to the meeting with you tonight. You see, I have a resentment towards Alcoholics Anonymous. These are the 33,000 reasons why. It affects every area in my life. And if I could have been really honest, was the real I can't go, Vicky, because I'm so ashamed and I know I'm never going to know permanent sobriety and I'm never going to be a part of that group. But I didn't know how to say that, so I just said that. And one night, Vicky pulled up, and this is how my maybe happened. Vicky pulled up and she said, Danny, if you want me, she got out of the car, opened the door. She said, if you want me to keep feeding your dog, living in my house rent-free, feeding you and washing your clothes, you're going to a meeting tonight. So I got in the car. I might be dying of alcoholism, but I'm not stupid, right? And she takes me to Rodeo in the 90s. You think this is a shit show, you should see that place. Not that this is a shit show, but it kind of is. I'm kidding. So she takes me, I'm not exaggerating, right? It's like 500 to 700 people. They all got 20,000 veneered teeth, tan in the winter, 9-digit salary. They're all just doing better than you. And I'm Mr. I got 2 days, Danny, can't get sober, with my loser balloon. I'm Pigpen, sitting in the back of the room. And Vicky took me to hear Earl. I never heard him talk. I didn't know who he was. I had never heard of him. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden he started talking. And dude, it was like he was saying to me, I felt like you felt and you can do it. And I heard, maybe. I said to the guy next to me, what? He said, I didn't say anything. Maybe. My own voice was telling me something positive. I didn't recognize it. My head has never had a positive thing to say about me, you, or anything. Maybe. Maybe you don't have to die. Maybe you can be your kid's dad. Maybe it'll matter that you were alive. Maybe you can bring joy to another one's life, right? Because the constant thought of others. Why did I shoot black tar heroin? Why did I take Percocet? Why did I drink Gilby's gin? Because they took me out of right here, right now, and they made me feel okay. Why do I work with other people? Why is the constant thought of others? Because it's a bigger buzz than any of those things ever gave me. The side effect is maybe joy or integrity, or being able to stand in front of you and feeling okay about myself, which is humongous, right? And so I asked that man to sponsor me, and I'll wrap it up like this, okay? So I'm walking around, I got this maybe. And for 15 years, Earl did not let go of me. In and out, in and out. He'd wait in line at the county jail for 7 hours to see me for 2 minutes, right? He didn't fire me or tell me you're not doing this right or nothing. He just kept loving me and loving me. Always had a seat for me. And on February 18th, 2008, I took my last drink, right? And I got this maybe, and I'm sitting in my home group, and this is how I knew that I belonged. Somebody in this room asked me if I'd tell the story. I'm sitting in my home group. Remember our home group? Good old AA, Monday night. It's one of these groups where you can't raise your hand. You gotta be called on. You know, like it wasn't fucking enough that I drove to the meeting, made it past the greeters, sat here with all you chit-chatting, all happy and stuff. If that wasn't enough, now I've got to be good enough to be called on. And if you were called on last week, please pass, but we'll start the same way we have for 20 years, Nancy. Oh! And you just want to go, fuck Nancy. She's got nothing going on. And Nancy would say, I'm so mad at my housekeeper. You have a house? My housekeeper taught Ethan a Spanish word. Ah! Nancy, I'm wondering, how can I make it from the meeting home without pulling into the center divider or walking to the liquor store? You know? And I'm sitting in there, and I'm just trying to behave myself on my hands, acting better than I feel. And I had become the guy that should not be called on in your meeting. Every meeting's got one. I was the one. And I was sitting there, and the woman, I'm sitting next to Earl. You remember this night? You remember this night, Christopher? This woman, she calls on me. She goes, would you like to share? And the whole room goes, no. Don't take that, no. And then I said to Earl, I go, can I say whatever I want? And Earl goes, go ahead. Sponsor green light. Oh, it's on. Okay, first of all, Nancy, never share again. Your life sucks. 4 minutes of my life I'll never get back every week. And then I started going around the room, you and you and you. And this guy right here, he cares. This man right here loves me. But you, if I was on fire right now, and if fucking one of you would pee on me, none of you. And please be a dude and say something. And no one said shit, except Margie, 2 rows behind me. She said, oh, I'd pee on you, Danny. And the whole room was cracking up laughing, man. And it was like some weird acid moment where I'm in the corner of the room watching, ha, 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 ha. And my fist that had been clenched my whole life, I let go. And right then and there, the lights went on. I'm like, oh my God, I'm in AA. Look at these. Look at Nancy. Look. Yes. My maybe turned into, yes, I can do it. I knew right then and there I was never going to drink again. I felt it. I knew it. I turned into that dog. Yeah. You know that dog when they say, don't touch the ball. If you touch the ball, all we're doing is the ball. And I ran over to Earl. I said, Earl, what do you want me to do? And we had this guy at my meeting, had these UFC fighter dude, big dude with tattoos all over his face, right? All he was missing was a sign that said, don't. And I said, Earl, what do you want me to do? And he said, go say hi to that guy. Just like Donald said to you and Earl. And I thought, are we looking at the same dude? But I turned into Forrest Gump. I said, okay. And I walked over there. I did what I did not want to do. It was a contrary action. And right then and there, he's never had to tell me to set up chairs for 8 years at a meeting, to be a GSR, the cake chick, a secretary. If I want what my sponsor has, I have to do what he does. And that's what I've been doing. AA has given me everything. Everything that I have is because of people like you in rooms like this that loved a man and stood him up. Okay? So if you're new, I hope you can get this thing that is so hard to find. It's called peace. And I love you. Thank you.
All right. likes it when you clap, so you can do that.